learners, welcome to this lesson, English Form 3. We are going to look at oral literature and specifically fieldwork. So before we go on, I would like us to define what fieldwork is. And fieldwork is the process of going out into the community to collect oral literature, materials, and related information for study and analysis. The process, fieldwork is the process. So here when you talk about process, you begin somewhere and you take some stages and end. So it is the process of going out to the community. You collect oral literature, materials, and related information for study and analysis. So there are some terms that you're going to find as we discuss fieldwork, and I would like us to familiarize ourselves with these terms. The terms we'll find. Number one, we'll talk about the field. When you talk about the field in fieldwork, it is not the physical land. In this case, it is any place that a researcher goes to collect oral literature material. That is what we call the field. So you get a certain community, you want to go and see their riddles, their tongue twisters, that will be your field. Number two, the term research. The term research. Research means the process of gathering, recording, and analyzing oral literature material. That is the process. That is what we call research. That process of gathering, recording, and analyzing the oral literature material. Number three, we have the term data. Data. This is the information gathered in a research. So when you go out to conduct a research, which is the process of collecting, analyzing, and recording, what you get, the information you get, we refer to it as data. Number four, we'll come across the term interviewer. Interviewer. The researcher, as he or she asks the questions, that is the interviewer. Then we have the informant. Any person who provides information to the researcher in the process of fieldwork. He is also known as the respondent or the interview. The informant, also called the interview. So this is any person who provides information to the researcher. And lastly, we have the term rapport. You will find us using this term rapport. Rapport means a cordial relationship between the researcher and the informant. That is what we call rapport. Now, learners, let's look at the importance of fieldwork. Why do we go for a fieldwork? Why is it important that students and researchers go for fieldwork? The importance of fieldwork. Number one, the fieldwork provides students with an opportunity to experience oral literature. Provides students with an opportunity to experience oral literature. Oral literature lives in live performance. For example, when you go out and watch the performance live, you're going to enjoy and learn more. When you're doing the written literature, you have written a song, you cannot know much like when you go out for fieldwork. Because when you go for the fieldwork, you'll see the melody of the song, the attire, the accompaniments like the drums. So it is very important to go for fieldwork so that you get an opportunity to experience oral literature. Number two, oral literature fieldwork is important to the students because it helps them to sharpen skills in observation, recording, and analysis. When you go out for fieldwork, you're going to observe. you go to a community like, let's say you go to the Luya when they're having their circumcision ceremonies. So you're going to observe, record, and analyze. These skills, you can also use them in other subjects like geography. So the fieldwork is important for students in sharpening their skills. Number 3, students are able to relate what they learn with real life situations. Students are able to relate what they learn with real life situations. So in class, you just sit, then you're taught the songs, the riddles, the narratives. But when you go out for field work, you can relate what you learned when you go to the field work with the reality on the ground. It helps to capture aspects. For example, you'll know why the Maasais use cows in most of their oral literature. If it is a riddle, you find them using the cows. So when you go to the field, you'll capture that aspect. Another reason or another importance of fieldwork is through fieldwork, new areas in oral literature are discovered. Let's say you're going for fieldwork, you're going to do a certain journal, but when you get there, you discover that there's something else. So that is why it is important to go for fieldwork. Another reason, there is need to record oral literature from past generations for posterity. So as learners, we learn in class about the journals. Those journals were collected by researchers. So it is very important for the upcoming generations to continue learning these things. And this is practical when you go out for fieldwork. Another reason, there is still a lot of oral literature material in the areas of songs, narratives, proverbs, riddles, and so on that need to be collected and recorded. So we can get some more importance of fieldwork. We have talked about 6, but you can research more on that. Now let's look at the stages in fieldwork. Stages in fieldwork. Stages in fieldwork. We have 5 stages in fieldwork. Number 1, we have the preparation stage. Preparation stage. We are going to list them down and look at each one of them. So number 1, we have the preparation stage. Number 2, we have data collection. This is where you go out to the field and collect the data. Number 3, we have recording the data. This is where you record what you have collected. And number 4, we have processing the data. And the last stage in fieldwork is analysis and interpretation. And interpretation of the data. So learners, in this lesson, we have learned, we have defined fieldwork, we have looked at the importance of fieldwork, and then we have listed the 5 stages of fieldwork, where we have the preparation, data collection, recording the data, processing the data, analysis, and interpretation of the data. So in our next lesson, we are going to look at all the 5 stages and see what is done in every stage. Thank you so much for your time.